This is one of those videos where I don't really know what's going to happen. The production team just told me to report to the workshop of Florian Gadsby.
I make videos for YouTube and I make pots. So I make bowls, mugs, teapots, anything you can think of functional, I make it.
I suspect I know the answer to this, but what am I going to be doing?
We're going to try and get you to make a mug from beginning to end.
All right. Something, I mean, it's not going to look this professional, I guess, but...
That's our target, so we're going to
That's actually... This was not a deliberate prop. This is just, I just left my mug there. Okay.
So yeah, we'll be throwing it, we'll be trimming it, and then we'll be putting the handle on at the end.
All right.
Attempting to, at least.
Wish me luck. I'm guessing we start with a big lump of clay.
A smaller lump, but yes,
Okay.
This is the clay we're going to be using. Before we begin the process, we need to wedge it. Wedging the clay essentially removes all the pockets of air that are inside, and it makes sure that the lump of clay is basically the same texture throughout. So there's no hard lumps or giant pockets of air, because they just hinder your progress later.
Right.
So this is sort of like a dance. It's a dance element to it. It's repeating the same couple of maneuvers time and time again, over and over. So the first thing we're going to do is take our block of clay and we're going to whack it into sort of a rectangular block.
Okay.
So
that is... It's stickier than I expected.
Yeah, it is. It's, I guess one of the things with clay is trying to... it's messy, right? So you have to work with it in a way where you minimise that, otherwise life gets horrible. But
this is what I do absent-mindedly. If I've got like a little bit of blue tack or something like that, I'll just...
You're going to be a master, you might be an
expert. It's just a very big bit of blue tack that sticks way more than I expect it to. So
once we've got the block, now the routine really starts. So we're going to take the lump of clay and hold it from underneath. Okay. And we're going to hit it down on the table. Yeah, so now you see you've got kind of a cavity underneath.
Cool, yeah.
So then you take your wire. Yeah. Nice and taut. You slide it halfway through. This is called cut wedging, and it'll become obvious. And you cut halfway through it, so it splits in two lumps. Yep, okay. So as you can see in yours, there's a giant...
There's a big hole.
There's a big air pocket, which is not what we want. So you take this lump. Yep. And if you draw an X and an X on the top portions...
X, X.
We take the one lump, put the X's so they're facing each other. Yep. And then we slam this down onto the one below. There you go.
And the hole is gone.
The hole is sort of gone.
No, it's still.
It'll eventually.
Just
so
there. Okay.
I mean, what we've done is we've made 2 layers, right? Yep. If you do this 20 times, there's more than 10 million layers. It's like laminating dough. So by the time, hopefully, there are 10 million layers, there should be no pockets of air, and it should be entirely smooth and even in texture. So now we're back to the starting process. So drop it down so there's a space underneath.
So there's a space underneath. Get your wire.
Take your wire.
Pull up halfway.
Perfect.
And slam it down.
Yeah,
and there's another big gap.
That'll be gone. Right, so then what we can do at this point, because yours is quite tall, you can pick up the whole thing again. Yep. And just whack it upside down again like that, and it should flatten it. Okay.
Yes, it does.
So then we have our block shape. A good arm workout.
Oh, that was a bad... There we go.
There you go. It's all about how hard you hit it. And to end.
There we go.
Down.
I don't know why I'm worried about breaking it.
It's how we were trained when I was in Japan. This is what we did for hours in the mornings and in the afternoons.
Okay.
But let's have a look. So let's cut through.
Yeah.
I think we might more or less be there. Let's have a look.
I mean, that looks pretty good to me.
That's got... Just to say, I mean, these are just the wire marks, obviously.
Yeah. And you can see, you're right, you can see the whole, there's a grain through the thing.
Yeah, so that's all the lamination from the...
Yeah, all right.
Cut wedging. So I think we're good to go to the next bit.
All right.
We're going to start with about 450 grams per lump. So next what we do is we can just take each lump. Yep. And we're going to...
Right. Wait, what? You made that look very easy, and then I realised I'm not actually sure what you're doing there.
So, basically, I'm using cupping hands to make a ball. Yep. Hands stay more or less in the same cup shape. So I don't actually... You see how you're opening and closing your hand as you do it? Keep that hand in that cup shape. Okay. Your left hand is going to be throwing it in, taking it out. Oh, okay. And every time you take it out, you rotate it slightly, so you're hitting it into a different...
Oh, that's really...
It's quite tricky. You want to do that.
It is. I want to throw it into both hands like that, like I'm juggling. Yes. And that's not...
Essentially, though, all we want is a round ball. Okay.
All right. Well, they're a bit cracked and a bit
They're fine.
less spherical than yours,
They're
but...
fine. They'll do. So we can now take our balls over to the wheels.
All right.
And we can start the process.
Yeah.
Got him?
Yes, you say we can... You say that?
This way.
Yeah.
So we just stick them on this bucket.
Okay.
For now.
Oh,
God.
ball
There you
down.
go.
There we go. Okay, yeah, fine. But, okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Sure.
So these are the wheels. This is where I spend. This is, most people spend their day at a desk, maybe. This is where I am.
Okay.
They work sort of like a car. Not that I drive really, but we've got
there's an
a
accelerator
pedal.
pedal. Yep. And if I push that...
It does exactly what you might
Okay.
imagine. So you've never thrown on the wheel before.
No, this is completely new.
And we're going to just go right in. Okay, so we take a ball of clay.
All right.
And our aim, first thing we have to do is get it stuck to this portion of the wheel as hard as we can.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it's called throwing, because you throw the ball into the middle.
Yep. And you've got to hit
contested.
that target just there.
You want it to be as central as possible. And you also, if you place it like this, it's just going to come off.
Oh, so,
so what
so
you want,
earlier my clay was getting stuck to the table and that was a bad thing. Now I need to really...
Now we want it to be stuck here. So when you throw it down, you want to throw it with, figure. Get it. Excellent.
Not quite central there.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What you can do is you can kind of tap it from one side.
Oh, I can. All right,
And you can spin the wheel as well to just a touch to see sort of how it's going.
I mean, it's not... There we go. That's
okay.
I'm okay with that.
It doesn't need to be perfect. So then...
Good.
At this stage, it's fine. So then what we want, water is vital.
To reduce friction.
Exactly. Yep. So water...
Because otherwise it's just going to tear in my hands and...
It will just stick to your hands and then the whole thing will come off. Before we do anything, we have to get the clay centred. And this is not centred enough.
Right.
So what we do is you take your left elbow and you stick it into your torso.
Yep.
This is going to be like your anchoring arm, essentially. So
all right, yeah.
What this is going to do, if you lean your upper body weight onto that arm, it's very stable, right? So
yes, it is.
What we want is a stability here.
All right.
So before we get started, let's just use some water. If you cup your hand, give the wheel a good spin. Yeah, so you're pushing down and in from the side.
Okay.
But you see how your wrist is wobbling a little bit?
Yep.
If you focus on keeping that wrist as steady as possible, so that means pushing it really quite hard. I think generally at the beginning people don't use enough pressure.
Yeah, I'm letting the clay move me there.
Yes. So
that just
you
want to push jabbed into my torso.
And if you feel any friction, more water.
All
so
right.
if you feel like here is getting quite sandy, for instance, just get some more water.
All right.
Put it on.
That feels pretty good.
You see how much difference the water makes. It
right.
makes it flow.
Yeah.
But once we've got it, basically what we want is a little disc shape, a puck that isn't wobbling. We don't want walls that look like that.
Yeah.
We want something that's steady and, I guess, just spinning as true as possible on the wheel. So that is good.
I didn't appreciate, ceramics were not a thing that I ever really... if you're going around the museum's ceramics exhibit, I would have probably just walked straight past it.
Yeah.
And I guess I'd never really appreciated quite how much goes into this.
I mean, it's so fascinating if you think about it, because you're taking a material which is essentially worthless, clay from riverbeds and things. And, it's also fascinating, depending on where you are in the world, we're all using clays, but they're all different. They have different makeups, and you end up with different products entirely. So pots made in one region will look very different from any other place.
I think I've scented that.
That's good. The next thing we have to make, obviously, at the moment, this is not anywhere near a mug shape.
Yep.
So we've got to create the well in the middle,
okay,
which then we open up into the base of the
All
pot.
right. Yep.
So the way I do it is wet hands again.
Wet hands.
And we're going to use our thumbs.
Yep.
And they're going to push just gently into the middle.
Okay.
And we're just pushing down quite firmly, and your hands on the outside are kind of tucked around it as best you can.
Yeah, yeah, okay. There's a very different look between these two.
Okay.
One of these is the work of a decade of experience. One of these is the work of someone who is...
Everyone started there.
Okay.
It can only get better.
Can't get worse.
No. Well, it will get worse.
Okay, good.
Just like cartwedging, we follow a sequence, right?
Yep.
With a pot, we've centered it.
Yep.
We've made the hollow in the middle. We've opened it to form the base.
Yep.
And now we have to pull the walls up, so creating height.
I'm kind of glad that the walls here are thicker than yours, then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
You've got more clay.
I've got more clay to work with, all right.
This is probably, I probably shouldn't say this, this is the hardest part by far.
Okay.
So make a fist with your right hand.
Yep.
Extend your knuckle like that.
Yep.
And then you rotate it like that.
Okay.
This is going to be our lifting knuckle.
All right.
That's how potters push the clay and move it up.
Okay, so it goes in there and you pull up
in the
like that. Oh,
exactly.
I just touched it while
That's
it wasn't
fine.
rotating, and that's why you don't do that. Okay.
And you can just gently collar it in from all sides, kind of applying even pressure.
Yeah.
And we want our walls to maybe be angling just slightly inward a bit.
Okay.
And once they're there, let's have a look. Okay, so that's
All right.
better. So
Yeah,
that's now an easier shape to work. Because if you keep pulling the walls up, they'll keep splaying out and out and out and out. And then it's very obviously not a mug.
I could feel that moving underneath me.
Okay, that's good. But you see, you've got some height there. You've got about 1.5 centimetres taller.
Okay.
So that's fine. Very good. Okay, so again, if you feel any friction, add water.
Oh, that's nearly got away from me. Ah!
You've got it. For your first attempt at pulling the walls is typically the part. Okay, so that's fine.
So we got a little bit of a...
It's fine. We're going to go through the finishing procedures. All right. Let me just I'll get mine into a rough, more of your kind of shape.
Thanks. You can imitate the novice here. All right. God, that's just a...
Okay, so
just watching the movement of the clay up there, it's beautiful.
It's hypnotic.
Yeah.
I think that's why people like it in a way, because it's... Also, you can't do anything else when you're throwing a pot. You can't look at your phone. You can't be distracted. You know, you're there completely in the moment.
Okay.
So you've got a serrated, like a twisted wire between the two bits. Then we're just going to drag it, keeping it as taut as possible underneath. There you go. And then basically you want to just lift.
Oh yeah, okay, I've got it.
And just move it over to the back and then just let go.
That happened significantly faster than I thought it was going to.
So there we go.
Okay. I mean, there's...
It's not bad. Honestly, for your first try...
It's more of a soup bowl, but, you know, I'll take that.
We can trim it to be thinner, you know, add a nice little handle. But I would say it's worth probably doing... Maybe having 2 or 3.
Okay.
So what do you think? Should we keep throwing?
Montage.
Undercut. So it's because you see more water down in the middle. And that's great. Really well centered. And then just gently off when you get to the top. Oh. It's got to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's part of it. Chuck it in there. Goodbye.
No, I can't. Let's go again.
Okay.
There we go.
There you go. Bump before where if something's going to go wrong.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Honestly, for your first try,
I'll take...
For doing something that's completely you've never done before and using your arms, you know, it's good. Right, so on to the next step.
Okay.
We make a sphere, and then I'm gonna roll out one end.
Okay.
Like that. So it's sort of like a, what do you call it? A teardrop?
Yeah, okay.
Or a
pear.
Pear, excellent. So that's the shape we're starting off with.
Okay.
We hold it up with one hand.
Yep.
And I want it at kind of eye level.
Okay.
Wet hand.
Wet hand.
Really wet hand. And you can even dunk the end of it.
I really appreciate that's warm water.
Oh.
Thank you. That's really nice.
And all I'm going to do is I'm basically pulling it down.
How on earth? Right. Okay.
So I'm basically...
That's like stretching taffy.
It's exactly that. Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
I reach the top.
Yep.
I'm squeezing.
Yep.
And I'm pulling down while I'm maintaining that same pressure.
Okay.
Throughout until I get to the bottom. Then what I do is I switch it around and I can pull from the other side. That way I'm pulling. Okay. That's our template. Yep. This, you know, between our hands.
This isn't going well. This is not going well.
I would say go faster.
Okay.
Go faster. Wetter hand. Any kind of bits that come off, just chuck them. We'll make a pile. I think you're squeezing a bit too hard. Yeah. And moving a bit too slowly. Okay. So less pressure. Yep. Like that. That was better. Okay. Much better.
And the template, you said, is about what the width of a handle should be.
Sort of. I mean... Yeah. So just stick it there, and then using your thumb, like you're going to just snip off one portion like that. When I'm doing production throwing...
How accurate are those? They're identical, every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's making 10,000 of these.
But again, the joy of this process is you don't need to be completely accurate.
They are.
As long as you've got a few more, you might rip one off.
There is an obvious difference there.
Yeah. Night and day. No, but the joy is it's fine. It doesn't matter.
How do we attach these to the mugs without them falling off?
We're going to take our mug. I will go with this little fella.
Yep.
And we're going to use one of these, which is just a serrated kidney.
Okay.
Again, this is where your own idea comes into it, your own aesthetic. So depending on where you want the handle to spring from, depends on where we're going to use this. Take the serrated kidney, and we're just going to scratch in. It doesn't need to be too deep. It's just to roughen up the surface, basically.
Okay.
Then what we do is we take the paintbrush with the slip. So this is just watered down clay.
Yep.
And that's just dabbed on. Not too much, just enough. This is basically glue, this whole process.
Right,
it's like,
and the serrated edge increases the surface area.
Exactly.
So...
I mean, when you find broken pots, in the ground, wherever, often the parts you find left are the handle joint, it's this portion. So this is actually stronger than the clay walls. Okay. If done correctly. So, put your mug down.
Oh, right, yep.
And we're going to take our handle blanks.
Yep.
Then we take our other hand, 1 or 2 fingers.
Yep.
I use probably just one, and we're just going to pat it down. So now we're left with the handle with a flare on one end. Take this, and we're going to hold it sort of from the end. And again, when we're attaching it, we don't want to ruin the integrity of this length. So don't squeeze too much in the middle or at one end. Yep. We put one hand inside, opposite the area, and that's just to brace it. And then you push the handle blank onto the scored area.
Okay. Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Then we can pick the mug up.
Okay. Oh, that's going to... All right.
It will stay on.
Okay.
I mean...
Yeah, okay.
This is the test. Go on.
Yeah, okay.
It's on. So, now comes the tricky bit.
Now comes the tricky bit.
Everything's easy. Well, because now it's make or break, because you can ruin your pot in this stage as well.
Okay.
So, it's very much like before. Mm-hmm. We're pulling in the same way over the water. Yeah. You just need to be more delicate. Okay. With my wet hand, I'm grasping, again, right near the top, where my hands meet the mug. Yeah. And I'm just gently, I'm barely squeezing. It's just a tiny amount of pressure. Okay, yep. Then we're going to take the bottom of the handle. Yep. And then we're going to bring the mug down and the handle down together. There you go. And try, if you can, to get some of the excess so it goes in. There you go. Okay. Yeah. And then we can squidge that excess against the mug like that. Yep. Rub it in from side to side. Yep. And then we can pinch off the excess that was there. Hey! There you go. It looks like a handle.
It does technically look like a handle, yes.
And it matches the mug. In
so many ways.
In so many ways.
All right.
Nice. Okay, on to the next.
2 more. It's got that ridge. Yeah, okay. Just that. All right.
Exactly.
Right. It's not that.
If you did that for 1,000 more hours, you'd be fine.
So, what happens now?
Now what I'll do with these pots is I'll dry them out slowly until they're completely bone dry, like the mugs you can see there. Yep. Once they're at that stage, they'll go into the electric kiln and they're fired to 1,000 degrees Celsius overnight. Then what I do is I glaze them so they're dipped into buckets of glaze. Then they're put in the gas kiln and fired for about 9 hours up to 1,300 degrees, more or less.
All right.
And then that takes a couple of days to cool down and then that's it. So hopefully we'll see yours
in a week or so.
Yeah.
I'll see you then.
Thank you. See ya.
Packaging is lovely.
That's the pale green glaze, so it's the middle size you made. Not the one with the real big ridge, but...
That's actually a working mug.
It's functioning, and yeah, I mean the glaze makes it whole, and it, it unifies the surface.
I mean, the thing is, the glaze is in your styles. This looks like someone doing a really bad knockoff imitation. It looks like what you get if you order a Florian Gadsby mug off Wish.com.
Well, it's actually a very precious collaborative effort. So
it's lovely, and
one of a kind.
The initials made it through as well.
It did. It's always it is very strange seeing other people's pots with my glazes.
Yes.
But,
yeah, it almost feels like I'm ripping you off somehow. It's a very strange sight to see something that looks like it should be on your wall and yet is charitably has a curious shape.
Exactly. And now you can use something that you've made yourself for tea and coffee or whatever you like.
Oh, so that's the dark glaze?
That's the dark green one.
Oh, yeah, OK, so this is a bit too heavy and it's bulging in some strange places.
Yeah, I mean, heavy, and then once it's filled up with tea or coffee, it'll be even more so. But usable.
Technically usable.
A good Christmas present to a family member, maybe.
Oh, yeah, no, that's absolutely happening.
I think the last one's my favourite. It has the most unusual shape, but I think that it works for it, I think. And the glaze.
Oh, this is very short and squat, isn't it?
It is short and squat, but it's. There you go. It's unusual.
That's
But it makes a good groove for your thumb. When you hold it, the indentation makes there's extra room for your digit. So.
I don't think you want that extra room.
No?
No. I'll be honest, it's better than I thought I was going to manage. It's not great, but I'm happy enough with that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Where can people find you?
I'm Florian Gadsby on most platforms. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
We'll put a link up.
I think that's all.